Alright, and hello everybody, I'm the SweetBro27, and welcome to another Dokkan battle video. We got a ton of EZAs last night, the main headliner being Super 13, as well as we have 3 sub-EZAs for the Nuking Leader Physical Trunks, and then the 2 sub-banner units for Future Gohan, the Future Android 17 and 18. So this guy, he's actually pretty easy. He's weak to Super Saiyan's AGL, Tech, Int, and STR. So pretty much everything but physical, it looks like. So this one should not be a problem for anybody. This is the team we are rocking. I know I just said anything but physical. We have 2 physical units on there. I don't care. So let's go ahead and get started with the Future Android 17, who leads physical 3 key and 100 to stats. Not great. On his super attack, he raises defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and raises his attack for 3 turns. Okay, that's kind of interesting. His passive skill, he gets 150 to stats at the start of turn. He changes Tech Key Spheres to Physical Key Spheres. He changes STR Key Spheres to AGL Key Spheres in addition, and he launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack when HP is 78% or less. Double orb changing is good, but you have to be below 78% HP, which shouldn't be too hard, seeing as most of the hardest fights in the game, like turn 1 is the most difficult. So you get this guy turn 2 and beyond, he could be pretty good. He gets an additional 30% attack and 20% defense per physical key sphere obtained. Okay, so he's a nuker. He gets an additional 20% attack and defense per key sphere obtained, physical key spheres excluded. Okay. So he just gets an extra 10% attack per key sphere if it's not a physical orb, which isn't terrible. You're still getting the same amount of defense. He has a high chance of performing a crit. He gets 1 key, an additional 50 to stats, and a chance of performing a crit plus 17% per Future Saga category ally attacking on the turn, self-excluded. So he has a 50% chance to crit, and then, what is that, a 34% chance to crit. I don't know if those stack or if those would be 2 separate procs. I would assume those are 1 proc. So he would actually have an 87% chance to crit, I'm guessing, which is high, especially on a nuker. If that is the case, 80% of the time you're going to be launching a crit with 30% attack per physical key sphere obtained. Obviously, you're not going to run this guy in any sort of difficult event, because let's be real, if you have God Goku and this guy on the same rotation, even though they're not on any of the same teams, if you had them both on the same team, who are you giving all those physical key spheres to? God Goku. However, double orb changing is something that I love. If you watch my custom Dokkan character things that I do, all the time I give characters double orb changing, so that is interesting. And he is creating his own physical key sphere, so that's not too shabby. The rest of his kit is a little underwhelming. He does have versatility for nuking, though. So I will give him that. He does have a role to fulfill. So yeah, you're not going to be using this guy in Red Zone, Divine Wrath, Immortal Will, nothing like that. But he's not terrible, you know what I mean? He has versatility, high chance to crit, he'll be a decent damage dealer, so overall, not too shabby with him. And then for his Link set, Organic Upgrade, Android Assault, Twin Terror, Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, Dismal Future, and Fierce Battle. That's the same Link set as the free-to-play 17, I believe. And then he's only on Future Saga, Android Sibling Bond, Android/Cell Saga, and Worldwide Chaos. So not too bad. Now over to the Future Android 18, who is AGL, 3 key and 100 stats, so same thing just for AGL. She raises attack for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and raises defense for 3 turns. Ooh, I like that. Defense for 3 turns, especially if you get an additional. Not too bad, not too bad. She also gets 150 stats at the start of turn. No key, interestingly enough. Probably that's because it looks like she also orb changes. Changes physical key spheres to AGL key spheres. And then changes int key spheres to physical. So these 2 are supposed to pretty much be run together. So it doesn't matter if you have one of them in slot 1 or slot 2. It looks like they both will be able to orb change for each other. And you'll end up with physical and AGL key spheres on the field, which isn't too bad. But the int to physical key spheres, she also launches an additional that has a high chance of becoming a super when HP is 78% or less. So that part of her passive is the exact same. So if you're under 78% HP, you'll get another wave of orb changing that benefits the other. Yeah, because looking here at 17, 17 changes STR to AGL, whereas 18 will change int to physical. So that's actually pretty good. These two work together. So I don't know, maybe she is viable, but the other guy was a nuker, so we'll see about that. She gets an additional 20% attack and 30% defense per AGL key sphere obtained. That could be massive. Imagine you get 9 key spheres. Like, I don't know how likely that would be, but, like, that's a lot of defense. That's a lot of defense. Top of the 30% defense for 3 turns. That's a lot of defense. She gets an additional 20% attack and defense per key sphere obtained. AGL excluded. That's the exact same as the 17. That's a pretty little interesting thing. I do enjoy that, actually. The fact that they have, like, a backup that's not as good. They have a medium chance of dodging. Okay. She gets 1 key and additional 50% attack and defense, and an additional chance of evading attacks, plus 18% per Future Saga category ally attacking the same turn. So that is a 36% chance, but I don't think those would stack. So I think the median chance to dodge would proc, then the 36% chance would proc, and then like hidden potential could proc. Because I think that's worded the same way as Int Yamcha. She's also... These two are interesting. I'd actually kind of like to see how well they could maybe do in difficult content. Because you're getting a lot of stats, but it's kind of inconsistent. But the two of them on a rotation can maybe be fun. I don't know how good they would be. And is this the first, like, nuking defensive character? I can't think of any other character who, like, is a nuker, but for defense. She'll still get pretty decent attack stats, too, seeing as she raises the attack for 1 turn and gets 20% attack per key sphere obtained. She's interesting. These two are both interesting. Again, I don't know how well they will do, but I like what they're doing here. This is fun. And then her link set is Organic Upgrade, Android Assault, Twin Terror, Brutal Beatdown, Battlefield Diva, Dismal Future, Fierce Battle. And then she's on Peppy Gal, Future Saga, Androids, Sibling Bond, Android Cell Saga, Worldwide Chaos. Okay. Moving on to the nuking lead Physical Trunks. His new leader skill is Physical Attack plus 35 per key sphere obtained. So you could theoretically run those 3 sub EZAs on the same team and make Android 17 like a god of offense. For his super attack, massively raises attack for 3 turns. Holy shit! That's a 100% buff for 3 turns. So each super attack, you're doubling your attack. Ooh, okay. Supreme damage to the enemy and sacrificing 3% HP. Okay, so he doesn't get defense on super, and you lose 3% HP, so he's probably not going to be great. But, like, he could do some impressive attack stats, dude. Massively raise attack for 3 turns. Okay. Now, unfortunately, this guy has a short passive, so I'm a little apprehensive here. He gets, let's see, 150 attack and defense at the start of turn. He gets an additional 150% attack, but loses 50% defense when performing a super attack. That fucking sucks. 50% defense. That's terrible. But I guess, I mean, maybe he's just a pure attacking unit. I don't fucking know. He gets an additional 50% attack and defense when performing a super attack if there's another movie hero category ally attacking the same turn. So that could negate the downside. Okay, so you have to run him on movie heroes. Okay. So that's not terrible. It just kind of restricts him to his team. He gets an additional 50% defense with each super attack performed up to 150. Okay, so they built in balances around it. Okay. Then he has a chance of performing a crit plus 10% with each attack received. That's absolutely worthless. Oh, maybe not. He has guard. Guards all attacks if there's an android or target Goku enemy. Never mind, it is useless. The only target Goku enemy that's difficult right now is First Form Cell in the red zone a target Goku? I'm uncertain. But that would be the only one. I mean androids as well. Yeah, that part sucks. Because the crit would be good if it was like with each attack performed, but this guy who's not getting any defense and is actively lowering his HP on super or whatever, yeah, he can get up to an extra 150, and he gets another 50 when performing super attack if there's a superhero category ally on the team. I don't know. I don't think his defense is going to be good enough, but I don't know. Maybe you could safely float him, and he could do some crazy damage. I don't know. It's possible. He can maybe be interesting, and he also is a nuking leader, so he will always have some versatility for those events specifically. And then Royal Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race. The Saiyan lineage Cold Judgment. Cold Judgment. That'll give him defense too. Messenger from the Future, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle. And then he's on Hybrid Sands, Future Saga, Time Traveler, Vegeta Family, Movie Heroes, Bond of Master and Disciple, Battle of Wit, Entrusted Will, and Earthbred Fighters. But again, unfortunately, you're going to kind of be restricted to running him on Movie Heroes. That way you don't have to lose the 50% defense. I mean, you almost have to run him in slot 1, which is fascinating. Because you don't want to lose out on that extra defense. But I guess if you're running him on Movie Heroes, then he could be a slot 2 or 3 unit. Okay, again, interesting. Not necessarily what I would have wanted to have seen from a nuking leader, because he doesn't create orbs anywhere, like not even rainbow orbs. And he doesn't get any boost for obtaining orbs himself. But again, massively raising attack for 3 turns is huge. Like, that's huge. Alright, and now finally we're getting to the headliner unit, the DFE Super Android 13. So in his base form, he leads Target Goku and androids, 3 ki and 170 to stats. Very good. Those are both 2 pretty powerful teams. Then for his super attack, he stacks defense, causes immense damage to the enemy, greatly lowers defense, and has a high chance of stunning the enemy. So he just does a shitload of stuff, which is good. Which is good. That's a lot of versatility you're getting out of this guy. Let's see here. At the start of turn, he gets 130% attack and defense. No ki. None of these guys got ki at start of turn. He gets an additional 130% attack and defense when HP is 30% or more. That's huge. Android or Target Goku category allies get 3 ki and 30% attack and defense. So he's a 200% leader, basically. Yeah, he's giving his own lead an extra 3 ki and 30 to stats. So he's basically a 6 ki, 200% to stats. That's actually huge. Holy shit. Because Androids is getting a lot of buffs. Target Goku, I don't know if they're getting a lot of buffs, but like you have all the Cell units and stuff like that on there. You have a couple of, who else is on Target Goku aside from 16 and Cell units? I don't know. Not bad, not bad. That's pretty huge. His attacks are guaranteed to hit. That's like in Yamcha. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack when there is a Goku enemy, and then transforms when conditions are met. So he himself is not too impressive, though. I mean, yeah, he raises his defense, and he can get 260 to stats if HP is high. And he's being a big support, but there aren't any difficult Gokus, so that's lame. And attacks guaranteed to hit. I don't know, you're running this guy in the Legendary Goku event. I guess Omega has dodge, but Omega isn't out on Global yet, so I don't really know how important that's gonna be. And we've actually beaten all the missions, so I'm just gonna keep grinding these now because I just blew through these way too quickly. The team I'm using is too powerful. And then his transformation condition is absorbs Android 14 and 15 parts and transforms when there are 2 or more Android category allies on the team, starting from the 5th turn. You have to survive 5 turns with this kit alone. You could, there are some good Android options, so you can maybe keep him safe. And he is giving himself defense, so, I mean, there is that. And then he has Red Ribbon Army, Android Assault, Metamorphosis. That's a good link for him. Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle. He has a very good link set, actually. A good villain link set. Then he's on Movie Bosses, Androids, Transformation Boost, Artificial Life Form, Target Goku, Power Absorption, and Fused Fighters. And then, so from turn 5 onward, you're like the Super 13, Fusion 13, whatever he's called. Yeah, Fusion 13. Okay. So his super attack effect now becomes greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes immense damage to the enemy, massively lowers enemy defense with a high chance of stunning the enemy. That's useless. Turn 5, you will never, ever be able to massively lower defense, let alone stun an enemy. Absolutely worthless. And he's just greatly raising attack. He's not getting any defense anymore, so you want to get as many additionals as you can in his base form to stack up his defense. Okay, kind of lame, but we'll give him a chance. Finally, he gets 3 ki and 130 to stats, so at least he's getting ki now. He doesn't get any extra stat buffs, though. He gets an additional 140% attack and defense when HP is 30% or more, so that's an extra 15 right there. He gets an additional 13% attack and defense per target Goku or Android category ally on the team, depending on which category has more members. Okay, so that would be, what is 6 times 13? 78? That could be an extra 78 to both, if I did that correctly. I hope I did that correctly. Otherwise, I'm going to be embarrassed that I did math wrong on a video. But that could be huge, but he's losing out on that big support from the rest of the team. So instead of being a support unit for the rest of the rest of the team's now becoming a support for him. I don't know, he is getting a lot of stats, so maybe I'm underestimating him. His attacks are guaranteed to hit, and he disables enemy guard. Alright, again, like Omega, I guess. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. Alright, that's good. No restriction to that. Gets an additional 50% attack and has a high chance of forming a crit when there's a Super Saiyan category enemy. Which, that's also worthless. There's not a difficult... Other than, like, the Super Trunks Divine Will event. But, like, okay. So I guess he has versatility there. I'll give him that. He gets an additional 100% attack and performs a crit when there's an enemy whose name includes Goku. A lot of Goku restrictions. Dude, I'm telling you, once we get, like, a difficult event that has a Goku, so many units are going to be good. Turles, this guy will be significantly better. But as it stands right now, those are all just kind of useless abilities. Overall, though, I think he's not bad. He's not terrible. He's pretty decent. Especially on the new, like, Android team. You just kind of have to keep him safe in his base form. And hopefully by the time you get him to this form, you'll already be near, like, the end of the fight. And maybe the extra damage will be enough to just kind of kill. Yeah. But he does a lot of interesting things. Like, we do get a difficult Super Saiyan. He gets a 50% chance to crit. And then if you're going up against a Goku, it's a 100% attack buff and guaranteed crit. So this guy will be good if we get, like, Legendary Goku Event Part 3. And then for his Link set, he has Red Ribbon Army, Android Assault, Metamorphosis, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle, so his Links stay the exact same. So overall, a pretty fun batch of EZA and sub-EZAs. Like, they're all very interesting, to say the least. Ironically, the one who I have, like, the biggest problem with, I think, is 13. I just don't know if he's good enough. Now, I may be underestimating him, and I don't even have him in my box, so, like, I can't, it's not even like I can test this guy out. But his base form seems kind of weak. This is going to be like the situation where STR Super Boo could potentially be super good from turn 5 onward after you transform. But you really got to baby his base form, and I'm kind of feeling that's what this guy's going to be. But the two sub EZA Future Androids, they seem fun. I would love to run them on a rotation together just to kind of see how well they could do. And then even though the nuking Trunks isn't necessarily what I'd want him to be, he seems fun to run. Being able to do a ton of damage. Again, massively raise attack for 3 turns. Are there any other characters that do that? Like, I can't think of any. But yeah, this is a fun batch. Obviously, I love doing EZAs. You get just 33 free stones. 34 even. But yeah, that's going to be all for this time, guys. I've been the SweetBro27. I'm a variety Twitch streamer and an up-and-coming YouTuber trying to make it big in the world. I have a Twitter, a Twitch, and a TikTok, the links to which can be found in the description of this video. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, share me around, and leave me a comment. I would love just any sort of interaction I can get from you guys, but that's going to be all for me. So as always, I've been the SweetBro27, and I am signing off.